Hello there, good evening, and welcome to another live session at Speakers Circle. As you know, we are going to be doing a storytelling session today. So, all of these sessions are just a part of what we do at Speakers Circle. So, let me tell you something about Speakers Circle. It's a platform where we learn and develop upon our public speaking and communication skills through a variety of activities. And we try to make it better each time by working upon the feedback that we get and the things that we are asked to work upon. Now, not all of us are good speakers, no matter how much experience you have at public speaking. Every time you face a new audience, the challenge before you changes entirely. Let's say if I am before people who are my age and I have to talk about something which is very in general, like some topic which is known to all and everybody loves it, everybody enjoys talking about it. I think it will be easier for me to have a speech, a talk, or conduct a session with them, but change the scenario of the audience. Let's say you have school children, young school children between the age of 5 to 10 years sitting before you, and you are somewhere in your mid 20s or 30s, and you have to talk about the same content to these kids. It gets a little difficult because here you have to be more creative. You have to make sure that even though these kids are not affiliated with the topic, they understand what you speak. And let's say the scenario changes again and you land up among a group of working professionals, people who are entrepreneurs, people who are doing really well into their fields. They have established themselves into their careers and they are leading big companies, big firms, and they're self made people. So now what you'll be talking before them is going to be entirely different. Maybe the message you want to convey remains the same. Maybe the things that you want to say remain the same, but the way that you convey it will change entirely. And that is when storytelling comes into picture. I'm not saying that storytelling is a really important skill for all of us to learn. But when we have to understand in what way do we present our content to our listeners, to our audiences, that is when storytelling steps in. It gives you a different angle to look at the same things. It gives you the creative element that you need to make something much interesting, much joyful, and something through which people can connect to you. So, storytelling is not only magical, it's also helpful for you to have an impact on your audience as a good speaker. And that is why we have inculcated this live storytelling session for our members. So, they also learn this element of public speaking and try to inculcate storytelling not directly but indirectly into their speeches, talks, or sessions that they might give at professional or personal levels. And that is why today we are here with three of our members who are going to be narrating stories in their own unique styles. And they have some message to share with us, or they will also let us know why they chose this particular stories. So I suppose it is going to be really fun. If you have any views, if you have any perspectives to the stories that they are sharing, do let us know in the live chat. You can type it down and we'll make sure that the speakers read it. If you have any question for our speakers, you can write it down there as well. You can check out our social media handles to know more about Speakers Circle, to know more about the things that we do here, and you can also be a part of this platform as a registered member. Without further ado, I would like to invite our first storyteller for the day. He's somebody who is from Ahmedabad. He is into data analysis and he is really an expert when it comes to analyzing things. And I'm not saying from the career point of view, but on a personal level, he has this what how do I say? He has this clear thinking patterns, different angles to look at same things that we do. So I welcome Dinesh Parwani to the live stream. Hello, Dinesh. Good evening.
Hi Zana, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine as well. And I know you are a really good storyteller and you always have some great stories to offer through your speeches or your talks. So let's see. So, could you just give us a hint of what you are going to talk about today? Or are you going to reveal it entirely by doing it?
So the title of my story is Life's Biggest Mistake.
Okay, so I think this is going to be fun because it may be personal, I guess. So let's see if we can relate to Dinesh Parwani's story. The stage is all yours and good luck.
Okay. So hello everyone, Dinesh here. And just a minute. Yeah. So today I want to talk about a friend of mine. So he lives in California, United States. And this guy's an idiot, complete idiot. He'll go on doing stupid things no matter what people tell him, no matter uh, what books tell him. Like so, actually, he's an adopted child. So he did not have his own parents. So he was an orphan. Therefore, he was adopted by a very lovely couple living in the California. And like in the childhood, he used to do a lot of stupidities. Like he used to be interested in meditation, sitting apart from kids, doing activities which don't mean a lot, but he'll still do for the sake of his own happiness. And that's fine. As a kid, you are not expected to rule the world, so it's fine. You can uh, do things which please you. But as he grew up, his stupidities increased. For instance, he was not a very bright student, but despite that, his parents sent him to a really good college. Now, remember, his parents are a middle class people, so they don't have a lot of income. And the fees of college was in hundreds, thousands of dollars. So it was a really huge amount for them, around 2 or 3 years of their income. But still, because he wanted to study English literature, they sent him to a really good college. I forgot the name of the college, but they sent him. And you know what he did alone? After studying for a few months, he's like, no, I don't like the course and I don't want to do that. And we asked him, like, what was the reason? And he's like, I just don't enjoy it. That's it. And you know that in US, a lot of people drop out to start businesses. So after he dropped out, he also started a calligraphy class, not as a teacher, as a student. So he started studying that calligraphy class. And again, he does not know why he's studying that. There's no motive. 1 minute. There's no motive as such, but he's just studying because he enjoys it. Again, after a few months, he's like, no, I'm not enjoying this. So let me do something different. So he started working with his dad in his business. Again, a few months, he does not enjoy. So he started a job as a video editing, like video game designer. So you see, he's doing things God knows why he's doing, but just because he enjoys it. Again, after a few months, he's like, no, I find this life to be useless. I'm not enjoying things. So let me do something. I enjoy meditation. So he was really into this Zen meditation and spirituality and whatnot. So he's like, okay, let me go to India and study meditation. So he read about this Baba, Neem Karoli Baba, and he came to India to understand meditation. And for days he spent like times on mountain meditating, trying to meet that Baba. He could not meet him, but yes, he explored that angle as well. He went back to US. But now, since we are sure that he has done multiple jobs, he has changed multiple streams, he has gone to India to take a break. So now he will finally settle down to a fixed career path, take up a good job, pay down those huge loans which his parents took for his education. Therefore, what did he do? He started an electronic business with his friend. Again, God knows why. So they had this idea of manufacturing some kind of electronic device which could sell a lot. Fortunately, this time the device sold. It sold a few hundred units. The next device sold a few thousand units. And the next device sold millions of units. This device is known as the Apple computer. And the person I am talking about is known as Steve Jobs. Apparently, any person whom any third party, especially if an Indian parent were to look at the career path of Steve Jobs, they would call him nothing more than stupid, right? So he went to the one of the most prestigious colleges to study English literature. After spending a huge amount by forcing his parents to take up a loan, he leaves that to pursue calligraphy. After pursuing calligraphy, he does not do anything useful out of it. Instead, he goes on to his dad's business to work. Again, he leaves that to become a video game designer. There's no relation between English literature, calligraphy, video game designer. Still, he does that. And after doing all of that, he saves up some money. And what does he do? He goes to India to study what? Meditation. Man, you are a 25-year-old guy. How can you not think of your career? But he went to study meditation. He came back. He came back and he did not start up a normal job. Like he could have done that. Like he could have got a job, but he didn't do that. Therefore, apparently, this guy is idiot. But the problem is that this guy is idiot from the perspective of a certain society. A society which believes कि 24 में पढ़ाई 28 में नौकरी 30 में छोकरी 32 में बच्चे एंड फिर आपने जो करियर एक बार पकड़ लिया उसी के ऊपर पूरा लाइफ चलते रहो. This is the story of a normal middle class guy, especially in India. The question is that which philosophy is more correct? Steve Jobs' philosophy says that you can never connect your dots forward. That is, you will never know कि आज मैं 25 साल का हूं तो what will I be doing when I am 30? You don't know and you should not know because if you know that you will tie yourself into a prison. है ना, खुद के पैरों पे आप बेड़ियां बांध दोगे अगर आप ऐसा बोलोगे कि 30 या 35 साल की उम्र में मुझे ये करना है. Because that whatever you think of doing in 99% cases that does not come from your own intellect, that does not come from your own thoughts, that comes from society. The problem with this approach is that you will tie yourself because when you are say 30 है ना 30 के हो जाओगे तो शादी हो जाएगी 35-40 years की एज तक uh, you'll have kids, right? And because you have not upskilled yourself, because you have not explored the other uh, skills or any other area, यू आर नॉट कॉम्पिटेंट टू चेंज जॉब इजीली. हो सकता है आप जिस इंडस्ट्री में हो वो बड़ी आसानी से ऑटोमेट हो गई. अब क्योंकि ऑटोमेट हो गई तो आप आसानी से नौकरी भी चेंज नहीं कर सकते, तो बॉस आपका टॉर्चर कर रहा है, एक तरफ से फैमिली आपका टॉर्चर कर रही है, तो फिर हर कोई बंधा बंधा सा महसूस करता है ना. एंड देयरफॉर दिस इज नॉट द आइडियल पाथ ऑफ लाइफ. So I think the biggest mistake of the life of our lives is not changing careers. That's what most parents would tell you. It's not changing careers. It's not getting fired out of a job. It's not being in a low salary job. It's not being into a relationship. है ना, कई लोग जबरदस्ती relationship में भी घुस जाते हैं. Why? Because the society is telling them to. The biggest mistake of your life is taking the society's uh, way of life or the society's instructions too seriously. If Steve Jobs had taken society's interests like instructions too seriously, he would have been an English literature professor at the best. But he explored things, है ना, and ultimately वो सारी चीजें उनके काम आई because he studied calligraphy. That calligraphy was ultimately used to design the right devices in Apple. That was used for the UI and UX of Apple. तो एप्पल का यूएक्स और यूआई आज इतना बेहतरीन नहीं होता if Steve Jobs did not study calligraphy then. Therefore, you cannot connect the dots of your life forward. आपको ये नहीं पता है कि मैं आज से 10 साल क्या करूंगा. All you can do is pursue your interests to the best of your understanding, and ultimately these dots will connect. है ना? If you listen to yourself. So the biggest mistake of your life is not listening to yourself and trying to connect the dots forward. Thank you.
What I liked the best about Dinesh's storytelling is that he told us a very factual, thing that has already happened. But the way he told us in a form of a story, we thought that, okay, maybe this is some kind of a fictional story or he's talking about his own story. We never realized that it is like literally the fact that all of us know, but then it was presented in a very very beautiful way, Dinesh. So thank you for choosing your inspiration, that is Steve Jobs, and making a story about his life and narrating the story in a manner that it felt that we are not talking about some you know far-fetched person. Rather, you said that he is my friend, so something, you brought down the level of relatability for the audience, and that is something really good. On a personal level, I would like to ask you, if this was your story, how do you think, where would you be right now if this was exactly your story?
So I think I would be at a level where no one can imagine because these levels are created again by the society's conditioning कि अभी के लिए आप फेलियर हो, अभी के लिए आप सक्सेसफुल हो. स्टीव जॉब्स एप्पल से पहले फेलियर था, एप्पल के बाद वो सक्सेसफुल हो गया. एक्चुअली इन द माइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन ही इज नोवेयर, ही इज जस्ट एक्सप्लोरिंग हिज इंटरेस्ट. कोई इंटरेस्ट 50,000 के साथ एक्सप्लोर कर रहा है और कोई 5 करोड़ की फंडिंग के साथ एक्सप्लोर कर रहा है. So I think I am at no stage. I am just exploring irrespective of the money in my bank account.
Okay, that's a very brutally honest answer. And thank you so much, Dinesh Parwani, for giving us your time and for such a wonderful performance. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that was our first storyteller. If you liked something about this his story that you want to share, you can go to the live chat and you can type it there so that he can read it out. If you have something to add on, or if you think that the story could have been better, you can give suggestions as well. Just keep the suggestions a little kind. Moving on, don't go anywhere because we have still two more storytellers with us. And with this, I would take the opportunity to invite our second storyteller of the day. He's somebody who is really into another kind of analysis, that is security analysis, and he's into the field of cybersecurity. I would like to invite Shubham Shah to the live stream. Hi, Shubham.
Yeah, hi.
How are you? How are you
Uh,
doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm fine as well. So, good luck to you for your story and narrate it with all your passion and all your charm. Good luck to
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Yeah. So, hi everyone. My name is Shubham, and today I'm going to say about the struggles to see positively that is going in our life. So let's start without getting delayed. So once upon a time, there is a daughter which complained to her father that her life is so miserable that she don't even know what she is going to make and how she is going to go forward with it. So because she was tired fighting and struggling all the time, it seemed that well, like one problem was solved and another one was following it. So a life like a Jethalal in Tarak Mehta. So her father, he was a chef by the profession. He took her to the kitchen and he did an experiment by filling, three pots with water and place each on a high fire. um, so once the three pots began to boil, he placed potatoes in one pot, eggs in the second pot, and the ground coffee beans in the third pot. So he then let him sit and boil without saying a word to his daughter. The daughter was getting impatient because she was wondering what he was doing. And after 20 minutes, the father turned off the burners. So yeah, so after that he took the potatoes out of the first pot and placed them in a bowl, and he pulled out the eggs out and he also placed them in another bowl, and then he ladled the coffee out and placed it in a cup. So then he turned to her daughter and asked, like, hey, what do you see? So daughter replied very in a fast way that that there is potatoes, eggs, and the coffee. So dad patiently said that look closer and touch the potatoes. So she did exactly the same way, and she noted that the potatoes became soft. So then he then asked his daughter, um, okay, so he then asked his daughter to touch the egg, like remove the egg and break it. So she also did the same, and after pulling off the shell, she observed that the inside of the egg became hard. And finally, he asked to get a sip of the coffee. So its rich taste bring a smile to her face. And after that, the father again asked, like, "What does this mean?" The daughter nodded that I don't know like what exactly you are trying to say. So he then explained to her daughter that the potatoes, the eggs, and the coffee beans, all the three had faced the the same adversity, that is the boiling water in our case. Um, However, like each one reacted differently. The potato was very strong in the beginning, but after being boiled in the water, it became very soft and weak. Same way, the egg was fragile, but with the thin outer shell protecting like its liquid interior until it was put in the boiling water. Then, like after removing the shell, it became the hard. And however, the coffee beans were it gave some unique results. They were exposed to the boiling water. They changed the water and created something a new mixture. So then he asked his daughter that which one are you. So the daughter understood like what his dad is trying to say. So when the adversity knocks on the door, how do you respond? Like, is it like a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean? So, with this, I would like to conclude the story that what we can take best out of our the struggles that are happening in our life is, like in life the things are happen around us, happen to us, but the only thing that truly matters is how we react to the situation and what we make out of it. So it's all about learning, adapting, and converting all the adversities into experience that gives us something positive. That's all from my side. Signing off, Shubham. Thank you.
Wonderful, Shubham. Thank you for such a nice story. And today we got to see the storyteller side of you, which is really amazing. So, Shubham, my question to you is: when you came across the story, why? What made you feel that you could share it in our live session today? Did you
um
connect to
yeah.
it some way, or
Yes,
okay?
not like I do not connect personally with this, but I have seen people that can connect with this because I have seen my colleagues that do complain that my whole life is going on the same to same day basis. I'm not
Right.
doing great. Like the work, what they are pursuing is one of the greatest job. Like not like in their field they are doing great, but they are not satisfied. They are like sometimes the day is getting stretched, so they think that there are a lot of struggles, and at the same time the payment is not there. So these type of things they observe, but at the same time if they choose to be a learner, then it is always a great to do extra work and give us extra effort from our side, so we can take something positive from every situation.
That's a really good thought to it, Shubham. Very well thought and very well said. Each word was very true. Thank you so much for giving us time and sharing this wonderful story.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye. That was Shubham Shah, everyone, with his wonderful story. And if you like something about the story, please share, please encourage the speakers so that they can come up with something even more amazing next time. And if you have a story to share, then I think you should already join Speaker Circle and share your stories, your life stories, stories that you have written, stories that you have come across, or stories that inspired you. And you can share them with all of us, and we would have fun and learn something from it. But let's not go somewhere because we have someone who is really into storytelling. I'd say he's the Hermione Granger of Speaker Circle, and I'm not even kidding because he has a lot of knowledge about everything. He is a big fan of Harry Potter, and his favorite character is Hermione Granger. I would like to welcome Aditya Kumar Darak to the stream. Hi, Aditya.
Hi, I'm Jena.
How are you doing?
Ekdam fantastic. Just like
Okay, so
Harry
I think
Potter.
Aditya is okay, just like Harry Potter. So I think Aditya is all ready to do some Wingardium Leviosa into his story. So let's get started and over to you.
So the story which I have picked is, it is one of the Panchtantra story, the Loyal Mongoose. Once upon a time in a village, there lived a Brahmin with his wife and his newborn son. The Brahmin thought to have a pet for the child, to protect him and get a companion. He went in search of the pet and found a mongoose. He brought it to the house. At first, the Brahmin's wife was reluctant to have a mongoose as a pet, but later she agreed to it. Husband wife discussion. The mongoose and the child became close friends. The Brahmin and his wife started loving the mongoose like their own child. But the Brahmin wife was always a little skeptical about the mongoose being near the child. One day, the Brahmin's wife had to go to well to get water. She told the Brahmin to take care of the child. The child was sleeping peacefully in the cradle. The Brahmin then left for begging alms. He thought that the mongoose would protect the child. A few hours later, the Brahmin wife returned and saw the mongoose at the door. His mouth was blood-stained. She inferred that the mongoose had killed the child. At once, she threw the pitcher filled with water on the mongoose. Third, the mongoose died. Poor mongoose. She ran towards the room for her child. She was shocked to see that the child was sleeping quietly. On the floor, there was a dead snake, beaten and torn into pieces. Then she understood that the mongoose attacked and killed the snake to save the child. Realizing a terrible mistake, she rushed back to the mongoose, only to find that the Brahmin's wife cried aloud as she had killed the loyal mongoose. In the children's book, the moral of the story is don't perform hasty actions. Think before you act. I am curious to know one thing. Why the heck Brahmin's wife was spectacle about it? What was the driving force to make such a hasty decision? Why was she reluctant to leave her child alone with the mongoose? I have been wondering this question for a long time. Why do people do what they do? I got one intriguing word from the book Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Conway. Perception. This word has beaten hell out of me. I will keep it very brief as an illustration. Otherwise, this topic alone will cost hours, and I know you do not have much time. Perception simply means a particular way of looking at or understanding something. In simple words, an opinion. So let you guys guess. A man and lady are going together on a bike. Can you speak? What's the relationship between them? If they are sitting very close, that may mean they won't be siblings. If they are too close and the woman has a veil over her head, it may mean that they might be husband and wife. You can add other scenarios and ask about their relationship. But I am interested in how could we predict those answers? Because of our experiences, we tend to perceive and believe things. The ridiculous fact is that those experiences were from past. Can there be another situation? What if the lady is the man's mother and the man has been speeding the bike? Can't she die ahead? What if the lady is his mother-in-law? What if the lady is the man's friend's wife and that friend is in the hospital? What if the lady and the man are playing the act and are detectives? There can be many situations. Let's go on the story again. Maybe the Brahmin's wife could not trust the mongoose because most of them are carnivores. Maybe in her past she was taught not to trust these animals. It could be that she has heard in her stories that mongoose crave for meat. Does that mean we should overthrow all our perception and belief today? I am not a fool to advise that. Our brain is wired us so it can protect us. But we need to be conscious about our brain. Is it fooling us to uh, learn new stuff and stick to the past? Meditation will help you constantly watching your thoughts. But if someone like my past self is not very keen about it, then go for these exercises. So let me tell you how can you improve your perception. How many perceptions are of a die? Is it six? I mean six faces, na? Or it may be 12, six from outside and six from inside. Is it 24? I mean if I add 12 edges too. Or is it 48 if I keep the die very far? Or is it infinite by moving the die to n places? What if the Brahmin's wife had thought something like this? The poor loyal mongoose could have lived. Would she be able to trust a new mongoose? Or would the new mongoose would be loyal? I have no answers. because I need to learn new perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aditya. You completely gave me a new perception to this childhood story. So I think we all have come across this story of the mongoose, the snake, and the Brahmin's wife, right? But thank you for giving us such a rational perspective. Like, what if the mongoose was a carnivore? That's a practical point. But then everybody has to blame the poor lady for doing the right thing. So thank you for like sharing this perspective. So Aditya, did you come up with this thing? And I'm really curious to know what made you think this. That maybe the woman's just right and she's just protecting her child.
The thing is, Jena, कि the this perception has got trouble in मतलब religious books too. So if you
Right,
think about that Bhishma, the great swordsman and the great warrior specifically. So when he was going to Gandhar, he took a whole army with him. So
right,
when he asked Gandhari for marrying Dhritarashtra, so what they thought is कि if they will deny, he will attack it. So it was again a perception only. So I cannot say what is the true answer. That's why I'm learning now. But the thing is कि the more we think about it, the more perspectives you will get. Just like a die. Just see, a simple man would have only six faces in his mind. But
right,
if
absolutely.
you are if you are exercising it, then you will have more perceptions. And in my real life, what I do is ki, did I start meditating? I want to go to the roots of my thoughts. So from where these thoughts have originated in my mind, is it helpful now? So there are n factors about it, but I cannot say really what is the perfect answer, because it is again a perception only.
That is true. That is so correct. And it also shows us that, one simple action is different for different people participating into it. Like the same action was, of course, a tragedy for the mongoose, but for the particular moment, it might be a moment to save a child's life for the Brahmin's wife. And for the child, it was like almost a live or die situation. So I think it is the same thing is different for everybody that is present at the perfect. And this is also called an effect. I forgot what it's called, but this is a particular theory that whoever is involved in that particular circumstance, for each person, the entire scenario happened in an extremely different way. Okay, so that is how perception works. But thank you, Aditya, for bringing this up. And it was a well narrated, well said story. I really liked how you include all the sound effects, like with a thud, the mongoose fell dead to the floor. That was really intense.
So then I don't want to, the Panchtantra was written exceptionally, but I want to ask is, what if the really mongoose had killed the child and he was waiting to kill the Brahmin's wife and that Brahmin? So what would
Then
that
I think
happen?
it would have been like a tragedy sort of a thing from the human perspective. Like in the mongoose kingdom, they would be mourning for their fellow mongoose, but then when the child dies, then we humans would be mourning for our fellow humans. So I think it's the same scenario, and that is what this. That's what my answer to it is. Like either some way somebody was to get killed in that story. So but good, you can try writing the story in form of a blog and propagate it, a new perspective to an old story. So that's good.
Thank you,
All
Jana, for
right.
your comment.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Bye.
joining us, Aditya. Bye bye. So that was Aditya Kumar Darak with his exceptional take on an old story. So those were our three storytellers. Now I'm not an expert storyteller myself, but people say that everything that I say is a story in itself. I don't know how far is that true. But if you wish to know more about public speaking and various forms of public speaking, be a part of Speaker Circle. You will find all the details in the description. There is a link to a Google form. You can fill that up. We'll add you to WhatsApp group where you will get updates regarding our regularly occurring activities. We have an online meeting almost every Sunday at 10:45 a.m. And this Sunday we are going to have it on 10th of July. It's going to be a really fun meet where all of our members as well as people who will be joining us or visitors will be involved in something or the other related to public speaking. So join us, learn to express yourself, your thoughts and ideas, engage with like-minded people and fellow learners, and evolve as a better speaker and as a better version of yourself. With this is me, Zaina Rafiq, signing off from today's live session. Have a nice evening, have a nice upcoming weekend, and see you in our online meet on Sunday.